Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ali, your favorite eccentric SLO-mad. What's up you guys? I haven't gone live in a long time. Well, it's been weeks I think. So I thought I'd go live. We're gonna see if it's a little windy today. I wanted to just come out in the park area and do a live video. But the wind is winding. So we'll see how long I can keep this up. Let me see over here, see if I can get some of the glare off. What's up, everybody? It is a Saturday morning for me here in Bangkok, and one of my favorite places. If you guys have been following me on Instagram and such, here I'll flip it. I'm actually it looks like I'm in a forest. But this is one of the like shopping and like tech centers that they have here. My favorite. It's my favorite place to come and work daily. And so anyway, I'm here. I thought I'd come on live. I went and got my fruit from my fruit lady. Which there are a plethora of options everywhere. So, lots of things I was going to talk about today, but I kind of just wanted to go live just to say what's up to you guys and eat amazing pineapples. Well, I'm with you guys, but also kind of answer some questions that I'm often asked. A lot when I post videos. You know, my Asian apples, they're cut up so you guys can, they look like pears, but they're called red Asian apples. At least that's the name I go with. They're so good. It's like a mix between a red apple and a pear, and crunchy all at the same time. And they got loud plastic, so I can't eat that one. I dropped that one. Let me pick it up because the ants will find it. So anyway, to answer some questions that you guys have, let me know where you're checking in from. If you guys grace me with your presence. That looks like crab. It's an apple. So fresh. So good. It's pretty empty. I would have gone live while I was walking if I would have known that was gonna be this empty. But sometimes, I mean, I guess it just depends. Sometimes it's crazy full. But for you guys just jumping on, I'm at this beautiful green space. I'm outside in the green space. I normally sit inside when it gets warmer. It's like nice open. There's a tech library, digital library, co-working spaces, co-learning spaces, podcasting. This is one of the shopping centers is over here. Lots of food court stuff. Everything. So like a lot of times, people ask me first. I'm sorry, y'all. This is so good. People ask me why Thailand. So I'll start there. Kind of gonna be like a Q&A. If you got any questions, ask me. But my first experience in Thailand was in 2019 after a trip teaching yoga in Bali. And on a whim, because I'm semi-opportunist in that way. I don't believe in coming all the way on the other side of the world. even then, and only going to one place. And so was it 2019? Yeah, 2019. I guess I kind of did in 2017. Let me think about this, you guys, because, yeah, 2019. So anyway, I didn't want to be here for just a week and not explore more. And I'd heard so much about Thailand. And so I took the opportunity since I was already here on this side of the world. And a flight from Bali was like $100, something like that. And so I went for it, came to Bangkok. It was, it's okay. But I was only here for one night. I did all the normal touristy stuff like that I haven't done since then. The riverboat tour and all that. I did all of that. The night cruise, dinner cruise, which they had to come back and get me because it was so crowded, so busy, and I was like, oh my God. One day, then I went to Phuket for a week. Love that because I love water, love the, exploring and the different beaches and islands and stuff like that. And then I left and went back. And then 2020, I think I skipped 2020. Came back in 2021 after a year in Africa. And came back to Bangkok, and I was here for 2 weeks. And then I did some of the other touristy stuff like the Grand Palace and all of that. And then I went to Phuket. Ended up staying in Phuket for 3 months, almost 4 months, and loved it yet again. And then left, and then went back to the States to deal with some adult things. And then in 2023, I came back and did a couple of house sits here. I went to Chiang Mai, stayed for about a month and a half, did a house sit or two, one house sit, and then went to Koh Samui and stayed for 2 months and did a house sit down there. All of my house sits, if you guys are wondering, have been abroad, at least on the app, the House Sitters app. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay, because the wind is blowing. It feels so good out here. So I use Trusted House Sitters. So if anybody's asking, 25% off if you want to sign up through me. And there's lots of benefits to it. I just finished a house sit here over the holidays, which is a great way to save money if you are budgeting or living this life full time and you're still exploring, trying to figure out where you're going to go. House sitting over major holidays and places where they jack up the prices is always a win. So I was blessed to find something when I got here, and got a 3-week house sit out of it. Met some amazing people and cat and all that good stuff. But anyway, I digress. And so, so I came back in 2023, did a couple of house sits. So I was here 4 months. I think like 4 months, something like that. So I got to explore Chiang Mai, checked out Koh Samui. Didn't go to Phuket last year, I don't think. I can't remember. But as long as I was on the island, I was happy. And then here we swing around to 2024. So 2023 was a lot of stuff. And then I went back to the States, I think. And then went back to Europe, and I did my whole Europe thing. And then this year, I did so many countries again, and ended up, this is 2024, I'm sorry, it's 2025 now. So 2024, I came back here. I came to Thailand in November because I was in India, and it was an easy trip, cost me $100, $117 to be exact, with bags, to fly here from India. No visas need to be applied for anything, so it's an easy in and out for U.S. citizens, U.S. passport holders. And so Thailand is like my home away from home. I have so many home away from homes. I know y'all hear me say when I say Kenya, when I say Vietnam, when I say Thailand. Now I'm adding more places to the list because there's just so many amazing places, and they're amazing for different reasons, right? And so anyway, I'm back here, and this time I decided to explore Bangkok. I stayed in Bangkok this time. I'll tell you why. Because originally I was only going to be here long enough to apply for my visa to Vietnam. Yes, you need a visa. Get 3 months. You apply for 3 months, I think you should get 3 months. Um, but you have to apply for it before you arrive, otherwise they won't even let you board the plane. It's not a visa on arrival kind of situation for U.S. passport holders. For other people, yeah, maybe. So anyway, I was gonna just be here long enough to do that, but I got suckered in. I was like, wait a minute, I've never really explored the city. Let me just see for a minute. Got my BTS. Well, no, I didn't get this until later, but I started riding the BTS. So this is one of the most important cards to have if you're here in Bangkok. You don't have to have it, but it's really cool to have. Cuts down on stopping every time to buy a ticket. But anyway, I started catching the BTS system and exploring different neighborhoods. I think I've stayed in upwards of Bang Na. I'm just gonna name them all. I stayed in Bang Na, then I moved over to Cassette, Chattachuk area, then down to Metro Park. I don't even know what it's called, but it was way too far away from me, with really nothing around it. And Bangkok they have too many things like this to be in a space where you have access to almost. I mean, there were coffee shops and stuff, but I mean, it was just. Was there even a 7-Eleven? Yeah, there was a 7-Eleven. But I mean, you know, it was just too spaced out for me. Let me think. Okay, so then Metro Park, and then I came to On Nut and stayed in two places down a couple BTS stops away. Loved it there. Then I went to Nana. But I loved being over there because of there's two beautiful parks over there that are in walking distance to where I was. Otherwise, it's like the corner district, without it being the corner district. And then I went to Thong Lo for my house sit for 3 weeks, and now I am in Punawiti area. And I just love from on Nut to the Bang Na area. I actually really love because you're here. You have access to everything. I'm really close to the BTS. Being 15 minutes or less away from the BTS is like pristine, it's prime. And then there's just access, so much stuff to access for free, you know, like these seating areas and indoor areas and food places, and I can bring my own food and just sit anywhere and eat it and all that kind of stuff. So a year ago, I had decided, let me know where you guys are checking in from. I see some of you guys popping up, but I don't see any messages. What's up? I'm going to take another bite of fruit. Sorry, y'all. I should have waited until I ate my fruit before I went live, but poor planning. But a year ago, so, 2023, my goal was to spend a year every year. I think I have this goal. I'm losing track of my years. But anyway, I wanted to stay a year in Thailand. I went to Vietnam first. And I ended up being in Vietnam for 5 months, almost 6 months. So I didn't expect Vietnam to be this amazing place that I enjoyed. And it's just on the one-on-one, a little bit easier, kind of easier than Thailand in terms of staying longer because you can border hop endlessly. You do have to pay for a visa to get there, but it's cheaper, but it's not as built up. Like if you go to Ho Chi Minh City, yeah, but I didn't like Ho Chi Minh City at all. Like I didn't like Hanoi, not for living. Like everything, when I say congestion, everything is like sitting on top of each other. I mean, you can go to the outskirts, but then like you gotta get a taxi or an Uber to go into town. No. Hey, Lion. Oh no, you're in Lion, friends. Malik. It is night 4:27 a.m. It's very interesting to come across you like that in the sun. Thank you. Go ahead and listen. Thank you for being here. Did you get to see the garden? I love this little outdoor seating. Hold on, let me show you guys like where I'm sitting. Hold on, hold on. I have this little table. They have these little, and they have different seating, little cute cubby, and those are apartments up there, y'all. So anyway, I'd like to show you where I am because this is so beautiful. I leave in 2 days because I got to do some other stuff, and I'm gonna stop to another amazing a place that I never decided to go to, plan to go to, but I'm going. But that's gonna be a story that I'm gonna tell when I get there in February. Okay, I'm sorry, at the end of January. So anyway, I'm here. I had planned on being here for a year. Like I said, went to Vietnam, and in being in Vietnam, I ended up visiting like 6 other places. I finally went to Singapore, went to Japan, went to South Korea. I didn't make it to, I haven't been to Cambodia. I have not been to the Philippines yet. Those are on my list, but those are awesome, like border hops if you want to make them while you're in Vietnam. But Vietnam, you can enter on a 3-month visa, so 90 days. Sign a 6-month lease somewhere. They are really good about doing 6-month leases. You get really cheap prices. I got a loft for 300 USD. Paid my electricity, which was less than $25 a month. Paid direct to bank using I think I used World Remit. Signed up for Wise, but I used World Remit back then. Anyway, super easy peasy, signed the lease, and then when I needed to leave, I was leaving a week early because back then we only had a 30-day visa. We had to leave every month, and it became more cumbersome than I wanted it to be. I want to travel, but I don't want to be forced to travel, right? It's like this control thing, because I was like, damn it, I got to get up and leave again. And so, I ended up leaving Vietnam and came back to Thailand. And so 3-month visa there, and every time you go in and out, you can get a multi-entry visa if you want, and I think that's $50. So you pay $50. So let's say you're going to stay a year, you do 3 months, that's 4 times. So that ends up being $200 total for multi-entry for an entire year. So this is one of the things that you could do to start planning. These are things and tips that I help with when I strategize with you guys. If you guys are looking to transition to this type of lifestyle and you're trying to figure out what to do, it's these little minute things that we don't really think about to help us make decisions that fit our lifestyle and the path that we want to take. So a lot of times it's like, oh, I know I'm going to go, oh, it's so beautiful, I want to go there, I want to, this, that, and the other. And it's almost never what you see from other people for you. So your experience is almost never what you see visually a lot of times, unless you're just taking a tourist trip, you know what I'm saying? But in terms of living somewhere, it's great to see all the amenities, but I definitely encourage that you explore them yourself. And then we start breaking down like these little minute things, like how to start figuring out what makes most sense. So even now, I want to come back and do a year lease here, and do a 12-month visa and all of that. Okay, so before I get into what I want to do, let me just share the comparison of Thailand. So right now for Thailand, not everybody, but U.S. citizens, we get 60 days. Whereas just 6 months ago, before July, it was only 30 days, and you could extend and get 2 more months, or another month, so on and so forth, depending on what immigration was doing, so on, and depending on which province you're in. But now we automatically get 60 days just because of our blue passport. So we walk in the door, we get a 60-day stamp. Then you can go wherever you're going to stay. You do a hotel, or you staying at an apartment or something. Make sure when you book a place, this is going to be the important thing. If you know you want to stay longer, and when I say you know you want to stay longer, let's say you don't know you want to stay another 30 days. You're like, I don't need to stay 90 days. You'd be surprised and amazed at what you can discover and explore for yourself with an extra 30 days. This time goes by so incredibly fast, you guys. And Thailand is huge. When you look on the map, it looks like this little, but Thailand does this. It does this, and then it scoops down almost like a tooth. So it's on two sides, and then it comes down over here, and then it scoops again, and then it runs into Malaysia, right? So there's so much to see. Yeah, you could go to some places and stay for a couple of days, but if you really want to see if a place is right for you in terms of living, you need to stay there at least a month. And that means exploring places, different neighborhoods, amenities, how easy it is to move around, how comfortable it is, how comfortable you feel, how comfortable, how welcomed you feel, and how welcoming you are to other people and things like that. There's just so much to it. And so also understanding just how much access we have from a visa perspective with our passport. Hopefully that doesn't change in 2020. I'm praying, y'all. I'm praying. All kinds of all of that. So we get circling back, I'm sorry, I'll get off track. We get 2 months just entry. You don't have to apply for a visa to come to Thailand from the US. If you want to extend, you basically get this thing called a TM30, and it's basically every place you stay, especially if you paying money, they're supposed to register every new person. If you're in a hotel, it should be like a no-brainer, but there's so many small boutique hotels here, you have to ask. Anyway, get your TM30 or make sure that they register you as a guest. Your however long you're staying, it could even be 1 or 2 days. It kind of matters. Okay, so it matters. I'm just gonna say it matters. And if you know you're gonna stay 30 days, go to immigration like the first week that you arrive. Once you're registered, they know you're registered. You fill out a couple forms. They have pictures on the wall to tell you exactly what to type in. And I know I was there one time with this person over COVID, during COVID time, 2022, I think it was, and I was extending. And this guy was just like, but this isn't true. Why would I put this? Why would I? And it was just like what they needed on the forms for it to be accurate. And I was like, well, don't put it. Don't step it. They're literally telling you what to fill in, or they're going to send you back. Anyway, so once you do that, you pay $1,900 baht, $1,900 baht, which is $69, something like that. And you get another 30 days. So they give you a full 3 months. And what they do is when they stamp you for that extra, so you can do it anytime. I just suggest doing it earlier on, like if you start moving around like I did, your TM30 won't necessarily match where you are. So you have to just be mindful of that. But you could do it at any time during your 2 months. You can extend. And so once you do that, you get your extension. They stamp 30 days to the end of your 60 days so you don't lose days. So I know a lot of people ask me that. Am I going to lose time? Do I need to wait until the very last day before I go? Don't wait until the last day. They do penalize you if you overstay. So if there's any reason, for any reason that immigration is not going to let you extend, you want to be, you want to do that and know that well in advance. Before, the last day and you trying to book a flight and, get out of here. And it's pretty easy, just fly down to Malaysia, fly over to, literally you could fly down to Malaysia or take a transport. And I'll tell you, some immigration offices keep your passport overnight. Like in Phuket, when we went, they actually keep it and you come back the next day and they'll have your passport ready for you. Chiang Mai, they don't do that. You get it all taken care of that day. And I say certain places in Phuket. And then I've done it here in Bangkok, and it was easy peasy. Went to the immigration office and got it done that day. Didn't leave my passport overnight or anything. So Phuket, it was an interesting one. So anyway, just FYI, note to self so you know that, all right? Okay, what else? So why am I in Thailand? Because I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I was telling somebody my first time here, or not my first time, 2022. It was so awesome to be in a place where nobody recognizes you. And what I mean by that is you don't stand out. Like they didn't care. And I just mean me personally. And I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, I'm not a person who ignores race. I don't ignore colorism. Because even in my own family, like one of the things my brother will ask, hey, is it cool? Is it nice? And stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, they're, it's really decent. And he always reminds me, but are they accepting of me? Because he's a big, burly, darker male, black male. And sometimes, yeah, it does make a difference. So I don't skate around that. I'm not, I don't necessarily ride the horse, but I do when it's necessary to talk about, and it's necessary to acknowledge and stop grouping everybody. We're not a monolith. Everybody is not necessarily treated the same in different places, so we do have to acknowledge that. So I do keep that in mind when I am making my comments, which is why I stress so hard. You have to go and feel it for yourself. Because what I'm saying, what I'm telling you, like I love it because I do. Like it's like a kind of blended, except like my hair now because I blocked my hair. So that's the thing that stands out. But even in Vietnam, one of the things I love now that some people, the old aunties, they just go and touch your hair like they be touching your booty, like if you're a little thick. But one of the things that they always would compliment me on my hair, oh my God, I love your hair. Your hair is different. I like that, So you kind of I stand out from that perspective. But I mean, I walk around every day. It's like nothing. Nobody thinks twice about, at least I'm not in the Asian community. Maybe if I'm in the neighborhoods and I'm walking up and down the street, they're kind of curious. Who are you? You've been here a long time, ma'am. So always making sure that you speak to your neighbors, basic, you know, salutations and stuff like that. That's anywhere you go. You should be courteous, especially if you're not in your home country. You should always remember to be courteous. Greet people, right? Okay, so that's that. A little bit about the visa situation in Thailand. So 2024, I was in, I started off in Greece, did a co-living, did a house sit, flew to Cape Verde, because a friend who's from Cape Verde was going to Cape Verde, and it was a perfect time for us to see each other because we won't see each other in the States probably ever again. Then I flew back to Turkey because my plan was originally to go from Greece, take a ferry over to Turkey. Easy peasy, don't need passport stuff. I mean, you needed to get in and out, but $50, overnight ferry, bam. It actually wasn't even an overnight ferry. I was in Rhodes, Greece, and it was an hour ferry to get to Turkey. That's what my plan was, but I couldn't miss up going to Cabo Verde, so I went there for a month. Did have to apply for, you don't need a visa, but you have to like register before you go and get a receipt that you've registered. I think you can do it at the airport, but I'm one of those kind of people that if they have something online that you can do, I try to do it before I even get to the airport, just in case there's any, questions. But because I did it immediately, they already had my information, so when I came in, it just like bam, like it's kind of was like global entry. So that was fantastic. And that was Cabo Verde, and I went to 3 islands while I was there, and then I flew to Turkey. Stayed in Antalya for 2 months. Simply loved it. Some small little parts. Antalya, Turkey is one of those places that is just massive. Tons of people, especially in Istanbul, but is it's got so many different cultures, in my opinion, like even with the Turkish people. So you could be places and they're not always so accepting, and I'm just gonna be honest. I've got specific situations that happen and things like that, because I was staying in a neighborhood outside of where tourists stay, and it wasn't always comfortable. But that can be circumvented. You just, have to find things. And that's why it's important to also make sure you mesh up with people who understand your plight and don't dismiss it. Because some people are like, oh no, that could never happen. Oh, I can't believe it. Last thing I need is to say something happened and somebody kind of dismiss it. The owner was great, but the neighborhood and the people around weren't so welcoming in some instances, and that can have some negatives. Because some people ask me, not even some. I think I'm asked from pretty much everybody I do does a consultation with me. So are we accepted? And it's a shame that that question comes up. But it comes up because, especially even more so now, hell, we're not accepted in the U.S. Well, I'm gonna go back. If I'm gonna spend my money and I'm gonna be stressed, I mean, there's caveats to it. But minute, you know, discriminatory things or whatever, because we all discriminate in one shape, form, or fashion. We all have our prejudices, but colorism and racism are very distinct. And you kind of know when those things happen. And I'm telling you, Asian countries, I've never experienced it overtly. I don't think I've ever experienced it in an overtly, not overtly, whatever, in Asian countries. And so it's a safe haven for me. Like, I do like coming here, and it's actually, they've made it so easy to do so. So after Antalya, I went to Izmir. Then I went to Istanbul. I only stayed in Istanbul for 3 weeks, and it was enough. It was enough for me. But I will tell you this. So out of those places, Greece, we don't need to apply for a visa because it's EU, but it does count on the EU, Schengen, 90-180 days, so you got to keep track of your time. Cape Verde, you get 30 days with the registration, boom. You do pay for it. It was like $11.46, something like that. Turkey, 90-180. So there is no border hopping. You have to, if you're 90 days in, you got to go 90 days out. But visa-free entry for U.S. passport holders. From Turkey, I went back to Albania because that's also like a safe haven kind of home for me. And I've been there like every year because I'm going back there on Monday for a couple of weeks. And it's a place that I always have in the kind of the back of my pocket as a space that, at least right now, we get 12 months visa free as U.S. passport holders. Hopefully that remains true. But it's a place to go without worrying about a whole lot of things. Especially when it comes to being, entering and visas and stuff like that. Easy to move around, easy to fly to Italy, easy to fly to all the other countries, European countries, take ferries. I mean, Albania is like, it's so perfect. So Albania was another one I was going to spend a year. I ain't made it because their winters is rough. So we're going to see how January is. And then from there, I'm going somewhere else this year. But last year I went to Albania and then decided to do a EU kind of tour. So I flew to Hungary because I had never been, always wanted to go. Loved it. I loved it. I simply I could live in Hungary. I don't know about the winters, but I could live in Hungary. Then I took a bus to Czech, to Prague. Always wanted to go to Prague. I don't know why Prague was always one of those things that was on my list. So did that. And each of these countries, because they're EU, we don't need a we don't need a visa, but you do need to count your days. So I took a bus over. I think that bus ride, we didn't stop. We didn't do any immigration, nothing like that. So in and off the bus, boom, easy peasy. Bus ride was probably $33, something like that. Nice clean buses, a couple stops, something, I can't remember, 7 hours, something like that. Did Prague, which was just mythical. Like, it was really interesting. One of those places that you go and you're just like, wow, like all their buildings. Like, same with Hungary, like all their architecture in a certain area, like downtown area, also has that Gothic kind of architecture. It's probably not called that, but you know what I mean. The faces and things and the sculpting, and I don't know what it's called, but really specific to that time frame. So anyway, then I took a bus from Prague to Munich, Germany. I only stayed there for a couple of days, but I really like Germany, and I was actually super surprised because Germany is not a place that I would, like right off the cuff, that I think about actually going and having a great experience. But it's a place that I would actually consider, and a lot of people that I know have talked about, moving there and living there like full time and stuff. And so it's one of the places that is on my list. They have some really nice green spaces over there. It's really walkable. It's so super clean. They even have like a wave river that they made, and people surf in the middle of the city. It's super cool. Check out my videos. I think I have one on here. If not, I'll put one. So then I took a bus from Munich to Croatia, Zagreb, which most people don't go to Zagreb, but I know I kind of was just passing through. I thought I was going to make my way to the coast and go from the coastal cities of Croatia down to Montenegro back to Albania, but I ended up getting a house sit in Serbia. Never had a plan to go to Serbia. Somebody mentioned it to me like a year before from Albania, and I was like, no, I don't think I'll go to Serbia. Y'all, Serbia was like a complete surprise. I was there for 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks. It must have been 4 weeks. Something like that, almost 4 weeks, I think. I don't even remember, you guys. But it was a great experience. I had a great pet sit. There is a great community. There's an African community that is so welcoming, and then just the Serbian community is so welcoming. It was fan. I was completely shocked, and they're rebuilding, so it's not like state of the art kind of things, but they are building up. There's an area by their river, this river, the Danube River, that goes from Turkey all the way, like the Black Sea, all the way through like Amsterdam, I believe. You could look at a map, I couldn't believe it. So they take cruises. Some people are on cruises for 6 months working. Anyway, I did Serbia, Belgrade, for 3 weeks, something like that. And then from there, flew back to the States, had to do some things, and took my grandson to Mexico. So 2024 was just like a mushmash of a whole bunch of things that I hadn't really planned, and it's been like that. And so now I am back in Thailand. There's a whole lot to say. I'm back in Thailand, but I'm sharing this road and this journey because part of it is being able to share with people how you can move around if you're trying to do the nomad thing and you want to bounce in different places, and you're not quite sure, if it's open to different people, solo women. Y'all, I'm over 50, proudly, happily over 50, and I'm loving it, enjoying this life, the ability that I have to explore, the people that I'm meeting. I randomly met somebody yesterday in the laundromat here down the street, and it had to be meant for us to meet. So super cool. But it's like a really, traveling solo has its whole thing. Maybe I'll do a video. I don't know if I can do it tomorrow. We'll see. I might be able to do it tomorrow before I leave, like 3 a.m. on Monday morning. 3 a.m. my time, so like 3 p.m. USD time. CST time. I say USD time. It's funny. So anyway, but yeah, talk about just solo travel and stuff like that, because people ask me about that, or they ask me about, families and things like that. So I try to connect with people who have families as well, and I've checked out some international schools here. There's an international school in Phuket that I went to that I wanted to enroll. I was like, can I come? This is amazing. Amazing. But there's so much here, and there's just so much in the world in general. And so when people are interested in doing this, I did a video the other day from actually the other side over there. And one of the things that I advise is especially with so much changing, if you're working right now, I reiterate this over and over again. I did a cold turkey thing. I'm still kind of on a whim thing. I make a decision and then it's kind of like, something else pops up, like, what I'm going to do for a month. Um, and sometimes you can't miss those opportunities. And since I haven't settled down, I'm figuring out ways to do that without being having all this extra cumbersomeness with bags and bothering people to hold things. So I'm actually putting my things in storage here and gonna travel very lightly because I have more bags to pick up. So picking up things that I left in Albania 7 months ago. That was not the plan, but that's what happened. And because I have friends there, a friend that was willing to keep my things, and she's just fine. And I'm like, well, I'll come back. And every time it's like, okay, I'm not coming back yet. But just meeting people, like someone I didn't know until I got there in 2023, and we ended up connecting and went to Greece together, and went down to Saranda together, and just different things. You meet so many different people along the journey. I mean, you could be a recluse and decide to not meet people and just want to travel for yourself. That's perfectly fine. There's no requirement to be social. Just be respectful of the culture, the people that you're, in the areas, spaces, and countries that you're moving to. That's the one thing I can really just like hammer in is just be respectful of where you're going. But yeah, you don't have to socialize. You could be taking a year off, a year sabbatical from everything and everybody. But I definitely encourage you to engross yourself in cultures, in the space. Get to know how the people move and explore and how they function, some of their practices and things like that. It's just really neat to not necessarily compare like, oh, this is better or this, this, but just to see how people just go about different things, like taking off your shoes as soon as you walk in a place. Like, we're in spaces in Bangkok where to me it's not as prevalent as like when you're in Koh Samui or even places in Phuket, like when you're outside of the more western areas, western touristy kind of spots where they, don't require you to take off your shoes because Westerners don't want to take off their shoes. But in Bangkok, you don't necessarily see, especially in these spaces, you don't take off your shoes and go in a building. But the smaller boutique shops and stuff, yeah, you'll just like walk by and there's just tons of shoes outside. Take your shoes off. So that's why when people are like, somebody posted in a group, they have like, I'm a shoe horse as well. So I have tons of shoes. I still have shoes back in storage that I'm just going to get rid of. I think I probably have like maybe 40, 50 after giving away maybe 200 pairs of shoes when I left in 2020, when I left again in 2020, at the end of 2020, and downsized. But this person was asking, they have like 75 tennis shoes and they have 25 tennis shoes that they want to bring. Well, one of the things that you have, and I can talk about this when I do a video, I'm going to show some of the apartments and hotels and stuff. One of the things that you contend with is as Westerners, typically specifically U.S. Westerners who have houses and condos and things, and not necessarily people in, New York apartments. Because I know it's different. It depends on where you come from, even in the States. But I've always had really big houses, or houses that have a lot of storage. You end up with attics, and you got every room has like walk-in closets, and you got storage space to the wazoo, and so you have all the garages, and you got all this stuff, and so it's easy to have it. And it's like, what's the big deal? But you come here, you might have one wall closet. It's not a walk-in. Some places here I found out do have walk-in closets. I think kind of walk-in. Well, the place that I did the house at, it wasn't a walk-in closet, but it had like a nook that was all closet doors, and that's all it was. And it was like just this little nook that was part of the bedroom, but it wasn't a closet. It wasn't closed up. So you'll find that that's unique to to the US almost entirely. You'll see it in other places, um, kind of, but it's really unique. You'll see built-ins and stuff like that. So you run the risk of running out of space. Um, like people who come over, a lot of folks, want the cheaper apartments and condos, which of course I want. Places like this isn't going to be $300. This is not. The place I did my house at was like $1,200. In my opinion, not worth it. Not in a negative way, but there's just too much. The building in it of itself didn't have enough amenities. Had a pool and a gym and all of that, but it was, in my opinion, it was just overpriced. Ridiculously overpriced. And so, and small, you know what I'm saying? So you'll find highs and lows anywhere in the city, but typically if you want the really low, you're not going to have the storage space. And so the alternative, if you want to bring all that kind of stuff and you want to rotate it, you do have storage facilities, and they have great, super clean, super up-to-date storage facilities, like for luggage, and you can get bigger sizes, all indoor, AC or not. Even if it's not AC, it's still inside the building. So, and really accommodating with, you pay a month, an extra month to rent, and you pay by month, kind of thing. So there's different options that you have, but thinking about just getting back to what I was talking about before, about how to pick a place where you want to stay, is writing down all the things that, number one, you think you have to have. Like, you can walk through your house and say, oh yeah, it gotta have this, it's gotta have this, it's gotta have this. And then you're gonna have like a list of it's not required kind of things. And a lot of times you don't know what's not required until you're somewhere and you don't have it. And that's another reason why I strongly encourage going and taking a trip and exploring for yourself, because you're gonna say, you might say, oh, it has to have an oven. Most of the places here don't have ovens. Why? Because most people don't cook at home, and it's too hot. Nobody want no oven. So it's really crazy, right? You're like, well, how do you cook a turkey? Who cook a turkey? So it's also a mindset, and it's not to lose everything, all your culture, to go to a place, but also understanding that when you embrace other cultures, you're less prone to ask those types of questions or be agitated at those types of things. I can't cook a Thanksgiving, proper American Thanksgiving dinner. Well, then you have to book a place that has a stove for oven for that one meal that you want to cook that year, right? And you could do stuff like that. You can find places, but I'm kind of being facetious. Because there's so many ways to experience places and enjoy places, and short of saying get over all of this stuff, kind of, I feel like everybody goes through, it's like that reconciliation levels of their own. Everybody goes through these phases on their own, like their steps. It's like your withdrawal steps, and you got to go through them on your own, even though you might hear a million people say, hey, leave that stuff at home. I bring in all this stuff. You can buy a lot of things. Now, I will tell you, women, I think I say this almost every video where I talk about things like this. Women and men, specifically in the U.S., we have bigger feet than most places, specifically Asian. Only other place I think that you'll find, not only other, but areas that you're going to find places with like shoes over size 10 for both, for men, and size 8 for women. Anything over that is going to be like northern UK places, because even like Balkan states and stuff like that, their feet are smaller. They're more like Asian size, right? You're getting closer to Asia. And then Asian, like they just don't have them, especially for women. They'll have bigger shoes for men, but you have to get a men's size shoe, and like they're ugly, and they're like not made for our feet and stuff. Just because my foot is longer doesn't mean that I don't want a more feminine shoe. Anyway, so bring your shoes. if you're plus size in any way, i.e. have hips. Now, a lot of places have a lot of loose fitting things. This is a country where everything is really loose. So you can find things, and I'm starting to see more full figured women here. And so, yeah, you'll be able to find more things like that. But if you have like things that you love, clothing that you love, intimate wear that you love, bring it. Get an extra before you leave the country, the U.S. Hey, blue butterflies! I'm in Bangkok, Thailand right now. Let me just show you guys. It's so. Oh, I'm in the city garden. I love this area. This is my favorite spot. So I come here and do work. I'll just sit around, get my coffee, which I'm going to get when I go downstairs. Yeah, this is like the one place where you could come and get a full premium like cappuccino or latte out of a machine for 40 baht, which is $1.12. They got Dunkin' Donuts in there. When in doubt, when all the other places are like booked up because everybody's doing Grab, which is their Uber, go right over to Dunkin' Donuts, get a 50-cent full cappuccino. Anyway, oh, it is so sunny and warm. Now, there are parts of Thailand that are getting rained out. And it's cold, like up north. And I think north of Chiang Mai, which is expected because it's in the north. So it does get cold there. Which is why they have the white dragons. I think in Chiang Rai area. And then on the coast, like the Phuket side, I believe they're getting floods already, which is surprising. Somewhere's getting flooded. Because normally rainy season doesn't hit until May. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Got my fruit. My $2 cut up fruit. Y'all, they have these baby pineapples. Oh, this one's cut. But they just have these little pineapples, these little balls. They look like ornaments. Oh my god, these are the sweetest. Girl. I don't know if this is a girl or not. Child. Anyway. The other thing I'm going to tell you that I just love here. Courtesy. Everybody bows. To me, it is such, it's so refreshing. And so you kind of just do it. Like, you know, I just walk around, you know, just, they bow when they hold up traffic to help, you know, escort a car into the street. They bow at you as a thank you for waiting patiently kind of thing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, fruit is amazing. Where are you at, blue butterflies? I'm assuming where you're at is dark. Yeah, my Asian apple. Yeah. BTS is going by right there because the railway is right there. I don't catch the BTS here. I can walk here. But I take the Skywalk. One of the cool things that they have here as well, and I have other videos. Like I'm actually, after I finish this, I'm actually going to go and edit. I got my laptop and all that. It's a Saturday, but it's so super chill. It's probably going to get busy. 12, 1 o'clock maybe. But most people are at the big malls. But anyway, the Skywalk, and most of the stations, every station has like a walking area where you can get off, and instead of going down to street level, you can walk the Skywalk to like the next big, I don't know, I want to say shopping, but they have like these towers, and the towers have like bars, shopping, park. Sorry about that. That's fun. RV living, like maybe not necessarily in Colorado. How is it? How long have you been RVing? RVing is amazing. I wish I could drive an RV from the U.S. here. 18 degrees. Okay, so I'm gonna say 18 isn't bad, but I do Celsius. So 18 ain't horrible. Oh, hold on. Okay. Sorry, y'all stood up in front of you guys, but the sprinklers came on, and so I wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna get sprinkled. Woo. Y'all. Okay. Oh, there is one right here, but it's not spraying on me. That's so crazy. They got controlled sprinklers, so they know where you're gonna sit. Look at that. $3 years. Oh, you hate it. Why is it? Because it's Colorado, or because you hate RVing? Because I want to, because that's, one way to cut down on costs if you already have like a place to live. Do you world travel? Yes, I'm full-time abroad. I do not come back to the States unless I have to. Okay, I think my butt's gonna get wet. But yeah, I don't come to the States unless I have to. I am full-time abroad. So earlier in the video, I'm not sure if you were on, I was kind of giving a recap of my 2024 travel cycle, but I have a video out too. It's on here. It's on my shorts. I'm gonna get up and go inside. Oh my God. Actually, I'm gonna walk around with you guys so y'all can see a little bit. Oh. Okay. Do you guys want to? Don't come now. Too much mess going. I know. I'm scared for my people that are there. My people that I don't know, that are there. I'm terrified for everybody in the U.S. But that stuff has a trickle effect on all of us. Even though I'm physically not there, I'm watching carefully to make sure it doesn't impact our relations with other countries. People don't understand that this stuff can have a dire impact. Yeah, we're not physically there, but okay. So you guys, inside or out? I think I'm gonna stay out and walk around. Hold on, and flip it. So this is where I was sitting. It actually didn't get wet. It's very controlled. It's actually really, like, none of the seating got wet. They are so intelligent. Let me just tell y'all. Now, I don't know where this goes up here. Maybe some seating. Probably some seating. I'm not going there. I was going to walk up there. I really don't want to. But it's so beautiful. So that's a dome. There's the shopping kind of place and all the seating in there. Some more seating. So on this side is the tech center, digital center. They have like robotic thingies that move and build cars and all kinds of stuff. So each one, like all of these are different apartments. There's a temple over there. I don't know which one. But this is just one like the park thingy. So there's the BTS going over there. So I'm heading over to the retail side, the east side, where the auditorium and all of that is. There's grocery down there. But like I said, this is just one part of Bangkok. I've stayed in 5 or 6 areas. So they're cleaning up now. But you can come and you can sit here. I'll go in on this side. So, yeah, there's different sides. I don't think I've been up here. I normally, yeah, so this is a different side of it. So this is like the mall. Oh, and everything is on your left. Walk to the left, drive to the left. But see those cool chairs up there? But it's really quiet right now, which I like. I'm gonna go to the other side. I just want to show you guys. I'm gonna walk back out and walk across from here. But it's basically like just like any other mall. We'll go over to the tech side because that's the side I'll get my coffee and sit. But this is also a cool area. So like when they say food courts and stuff, they literally do food courts. But the nice thing about these is you don't take any cash. You pre-order at the machines, or you use the, if you have a bank thingy, you can use your QR. And that's how you would order is with the QR. But this is actually another place I could come over here. It's actually nice and quiet over here and do some work. Maybe I shall, because I'm always on the other side. So I'm actually going to get a cappuccino. You take cash here or?
Cash, okay.
You take, okay. Can I have a hot cappuccino?
Medium or size?
The large.
Hot cappuccino ร้านไซส์โนชูการ์นะคะ
So see how they have everything. I'm gonna sit you guys up here for a moment while they make the coffee. The orange pie cheat is the bomb.com diggity.
69 ค่ะ
คุณครูคะ
เหมือนเดิมนะคะ
And so yeah, I'm gonna sit over here. So as you guys could see, one of the things is they speak good English. Let me see that window. Yeah, so they speak good English. Oh, there's plugs over here. This is where we'll sit. Hold on. This is cute. I normally don't come over here. So I can plug up over here. So this is just one of the areas that you guys can come and enjoy. It's actually pretty quiet, like I said, because it's early on a Saturday. But I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna get my coffee. And, oops, that's the other side. Get my coffee from Minute Coffee and chill for a bit. Thank you guys for joining me. Toodles and noodles. Peace and